Welcome to Quarantine Quarrels.
I like blinked weird.
I made my knee big.
Okay, try it again. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for joining us again. I'm 2 for 2 with getting out of my pajamas, and this time I even curled my hair. Did you find yourself this week noticing that the temperaments are all around you and picking up on what people are saying and hearing? Like my friend Kathleen says, once you know the temperaments, it's hard not to hear the temperaments come out of everybody's mouth that you know. During session 1, you most likely identified with 1 or maybe 2 temperaments. And just like your temperament determines the words you say, it also determines the words that you need to hear and how you respond to those words that you hear. So when I say things like, "Don't do that," to my red Skylar, she immediately responds with, "Yeah, why not? I'm gonna do it." And when I say, "Don't do that," to my green Riley, she responds with, "Okay, not a big deal." So that's what we're gonna learn about today, the words that you need to hear. So here's Kathleen.
So temperaments dictate the words that you need to hear to fill what's called innate needs. These needs are like food and water. This is the game changer that happens in my office. This will change how you communicate, and it will be life impacting. So understanding these are key and critical. So these are the innate needs of the colored and the temperaments. The yellow is approval, acceptance, attention, and affection. The red is loyalty, sense of control, appreciation, and credit for work. The green is harmony, worthiness, lack of stress, and respect. And the melancholic is safety, sensitivity, support, and space and silence. So these words are not on here willy-nilly. They're very thought out in years of experimenting and connecting with the colored temperaments. So as you're going through today, if anything hasn't connected up until this point, I would hope that one of these innate needs would just innately connect with you as you're reading them. But we want to go even deeper. I've collected over the years different definitions, and the definitions are so incredibly important and crucial. But let me say this, you are going to have your own definition of what each one of these means to you. But to kick you off or get you started so that you can kind of get an idea of yourself and others, I've put together the definitions that I hear the most in my office, and I want to share those with you. So the first is the yellow. The first one is approval, being liked for who they are without needing to change. The second one would be acceptance, being invited or included. The third is attention, having your full focus, especially eye contact. So if you were even to think about this attention in your marriage, you know, our first thought for yellows, and yellows can back me up if you can, that most people think attention means they want to be center stage. They want to be the one that everybody's looking at. But the yellows, I think even this room, that is not what I hear most, right, in my office. But I hear this, having your full attention and focus, especially eye contact. So if you have a husband that's in sales and he comes home every day and he always has a funny story he wants to tell you or a story about what happened, now you know that putting whatever you're doing down, giving them eye contact and full focus is gonna love that person better. It's gonna fill this innate need of attention. And we have a choice to do that. The last one would be affection, being noticed or acknowledged. Again, when we think of affection, we know where we go, but they're just saying, look across the room and know that I'm here, or put your hand on my hand, just being noticed or acknowledged.
Okay, pause. So I have my daughter, my yellow daughter, Mac, back with us again, and we want to talk about the innate needs. So you know these well, because we've been working with Kathleen for a long time still. And what of the 4 needs do you feel like you're having the most difficult getting filled while we've been in quarantine?
Well, there's 2 main ones. Probably approval in the household of the things I do, but also, since we are in quarantine, probably like attention from other people, but not from my family, because that's just, I don't need that much attention from them, but from my friends.
Dang, dang, diggity, dang, 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 diggity, dang, dang.
Okay, yeah, excellent.
What about you?
Well, I would say affection, because you guys just want to be in your rooms all the time, right? Well, maybe you can show me some more affection today. Well, what we want to do now is pause and let you guys take a moment and talk to your yellows and see what one of their needs is lacking and how could you as a family rally around them to help fill it. Have a good discussion.
Okay, for the reds, the first one is loyalty. Being prioritized, knowing that you have their back. This is so important to a red. If you are a red right out there, loyalty is huge. The one that I hear the most, get most confusion, and I want to talk a little bit about though, is sense of control. All reds, everybody thinks the reds want to be in control of everything and be in charge. There's a big difference between wanting to be in control of something. We have control over nothing, but we have influence over everything. What they really truly want is a sense of control, right, reds? If all the cogs are working together, the reds do not feel like they have to be in charge. If everybody's doing what they say they're supposed to do, if everybody's pulling their weight and following the plan, the cholerics don't feel like they have to step in and take charge. So in a family, if there's a plan and there's, everybody has their chores and what they're supposed to be doing, and a mom or dad comes home, they don't feel like they have to step in and take charge because they have a sense of control in the family. Everybody's pulling their weight and doing what they're expected to do. That's gonna love this red better, right, reds? We like that, right? The next one is appreciation, being valued for their unique strengths. And then credit for work, being valued for their contributions.
All right, pause. We're back. I'm with my two reds, Addie and Skylar. So now Kathleen just went through the innate needs of the red. And so I'm going to ask you guys, being in quarantine, which one of the needs do you feel like you are struggling with the most or that's hardest for us to fill as a family during this time? So the red, which need do you feel like stands out for you, Addie?
Sense of control.
Okay, and give us a little bit of why. Why do you think that is?
During this quarantine, I haven't really had much control over things.
This is true, and that drives you nuts, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. All right, what about you, little miss? Which need stands out for you?
Credit for work.
Okay, tell us a little bit. Why do you say that?
Usually when I clean the kitchen, you always give the credit to Riley.
Well, I mistakenly, yes, thought that Riley did it the other day, but you did such a good job. So I'm going to give you credit right now publicly in front of all of these people that are going to see this video. She did a great job with the kitchen. Well, we all are struggling with getting those needs met, specifically because it is quarantine time. So we want you Reds to take a few minutes now and share with your family one of your needs that seems to be a little bit harder to fill right now and how your family might be able to come around you and help fill that need. Have a good discussion.
For the blues, their first one out of the gate, right? Blues is safety. Being able to trust their surroundings and relationships. If we do not feel safe or we do not trust the environment or the person, we are not going close to them. And we're definitely not putting down we're kind of reserved and private people. So for us to put down that reserved private persona, we have to feel safe. So for an example, in a friendship, if we're getting to know each other and I feel safe with you, my wall's gonna go down a little bit and I'm gonna invite you in. And if I do that, I am gonna be your most loyal and best friend. I will keep your secrets to my grave. That's what blues do. And if I decide to tell you secrets, that means I am in the relationship. I am deep in because I trust you. So friendships with blues would look like that. The next one for the blue is sensitivity, which means being understood. You don't have to necessarily agree with me. Blues just want to make sure you're matching their feelings and emotions, that you're just not hearing them, but you're truly understanding where they're coming from or what they're saying. support, being offered or provided help. And the last one would be space and silence, having time to decompress, process, or to think. Now, I can personally relate to this one because I've taught my children space and silence, and when they were little, they knew not to come right up and start asking me questions. I went to my office, I sat down my briefcase, I decompressed, I filed all my information in my brain, and when I came out 5 minutes later, I came out a better mom because my children understood this. They can start understanding very young, actually. Kids get this way quicker than adults.
Okay, pause. I asked Addie to stay because she has a dominant of red, but also a very high in our secondary that's blue. So with all the needs that Kathleen just went through, which one stands out for you as the most pressing right now?
Safety.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm sure all of the blues are feeling that a little bit, but tell me a little bit more about that.
Because there's a virus going around in the world right now.
Okay. Very true. So is there something that I could do or one of the girls could do to help you feel safer?
No, because you don't have power over that.
Okay. Is there anything that I could help you with to feel safer?
No.
No? Okay. So it's just something that we have to be watching the news, giving you updates.
Yep.
Would that help?
Yep.
Okay. Well, there we go. Thanks for sharing. All right, now we want to give you guys a chance to talk to your blues and see which one of their needs might be standing out in this quarantine time and give you an opportunity to talk and see how you can fill those needs better. And then you're going to have a short discussion and Kathleen will be right back.
Greens. The greens needs harmony, everybody getting along or everything going smoothly. That means the room can be filled. As long as everybody's getting along, they're good. They're good. It's when people start not getting along, right, greens? That it just starts, right, tense. The next one, worthiness, being valued for their unique strengths. In a work environment, this is crucial because if you have a green teammate, all they want to know is that they're a valuable part of the team. If they happen to miss an event or a meeting and you go back and you go, wow, Joe, we really missed you yesterday. You bring so much value to our team. Hope you're not going to miss next meeting. Your opinions really matter to us. We value them. That is loving this person better. That's showing them value. And again, what did it cost you to love somebody better? Greens, lack of stress. I love this one. This is what I hear all the time. An absence of conflict or combative words. Really, when we first think of stress, we think of environmental stress or circumstantial stress. But again, this is what I hear most in my office, is an absence of conflictive or combative words. And the last one, respect, being asked for their thoughts and opinions. And again, this is an innately quiet person. So part of it is them advocating for themselves, which is what I work with greens on, to speak up and share their great opinions and their ideas. But now that you know this, if you have a green friend or coworker or spouse, ask them, hey, I would really like your input on this. If they have something, they'll tell you. If they don't, they'll be like, I'm okay. Yeah, it's okay. But if they do have something, hopefully now they'll speak up, right?
Okay, pause. Now I've got my green Riley here, and I want to ask her, with your 4 needs, which one are you feeling the most needy of right now during quarantine time?
Lack of stress.
All right, lack of stress. Tell me, what's stressful?
Whenever you ask us to clean the house, schoolwork, and just doing anything.
Okay, so doing anything is stressful.
I mean, not everything, but like work.
Okay. All right.
I mean, y'all know, like anything that's work.
That's right, Greens. I mean,
Unloading the dishwasher, walking up the stairs.
Walking up the stairs.
I mean, like,
Unless it's not laying out in the sun, I mean, it's work.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I don't know if this is going to make it, but the other day she said something at dinner and said like a few words, and I did not hear what she said. And she said, just forget it. She decided not to even repeat what was out of her mouth because it was too much work to repeat it. Oh, but she's so pleasant. Our greens are so pleasant, aren't they? Oh, we love you. We love you. But anyway, all right. Well, if your green is anything like my green, she's just delightful, but has needs that they need met as well. And I'm so sorry you have to walk up the stairs to go to your room. But there's other things around the house that need to be done too sometimes. So why don't you guys take a few minutes and talk to your greens and see what needs they are struggling with the most and how you might be able to rally around them. And we'll be back soon. Thanks.
So I love to tell this story about a couple years ago. My family went skiing in Colorado, and we were in a hotel probably about 7 stories up. And so now that you're familiar with the colors a little bit, you know my son is blue, my daughter's yellow, I'm blue, and my husband is green. So he travels, he's a traveling salesperson, and so he's used to being in hotels, but we're up in the hotel room and the fire alarm goes off, okay? Every temperament in crisis, and when you're by yourself, your temperament's gonna shoot to the surface, right? So that fire alarm goes off. My son immediately is at the little map. He is planning and strategizing the best way for us to get out of the hotel safely. Avery is changing her clothes. She is putting on an outfit because there might be a cute fireman, there might be cameras, the TV crew might be there, and she wants to be ready. My husband is on the bed with the clicker like this. I go, babe, fire alarm. He's like, I think it's a drill. I go, a drill in a hotel. Okay, I've never heard of it, but I think we should probably go. Don't hear sirens, and I don't smell smoke. And I go, okay, honey, Bryce is in the hallway. Avery's ready now. She's in the hallway. And and I'm like, I'm going. Well, like, we're going. He says, take your phone. I go, why would I take my phone? Text me when you get to the lobby and let me know if it's really a fire. That's a green right there.
Okay, pause. I love that story that Kathleen tells about her family and the fire alarm. And so I brought my girls together because I want to hear what you each would say if that happened and we were in a hotel and the fire alarm went off. So, go.
Do you want me to go first? I would start crying. Riley would wake up laughing. Skylar would be crying. Addie would be like, oh my God, where's the map? And then I'd probably get my phone out. I'd be like, oh my gosh, a fire. That would make you more, be like, we're all gonna die. And like, post it everywhere. That's what I would do.
I would probably say we're all gonna be fine. There's no need to everyone freak out. It happens.
Would you even leave the room?
No. Well, this one would make me.
What would you do, Addie?
I wouldn't feel need to.
I would try to grab all my stuff.
Run out? Okay. And where would you go? Like down to the lobby and follow the directions?
Well, the nearest exit.
Okay. Okay.
Can we just finish the video, please?
Okay.
Let's go.
Why don't we pause our discussion and then we'll let your family have a chance to talk about what your family would do if a fire alarm went off there.
So when we're communicating with other people, there's this, what I call a gray scale, or what happens is, what you see is when I talk, Brad hears. And when Brad talks, I hear. So what our goal is today is to get rid of this gray area in between. We want to get here, because I said this, you heard that, right? We want to get here so that we know that other people can hear us and that they feel heard and understood. We want to make sure we're speaking the language, we speak out of our own temperament, but that doesn't mean I can't learn the temperament how another temperament speaks and get rid of that gray area. We want everybody that we talk to feel heard and understood. So let's go back to Ephesians 4:29 for a minute. Do not let any unwholesome words come out of your mouth, only what's helpful for building others up according to their needs and benefit all who listen. So already today we've hit the word let. We understand that every word that comes out of your mouth is a choice. So I'm asking you to initiate a pause, make sure you're moving from weaknesses to strengths, and you're speaking life words in the temperament that you're talking to, in some of the words and the languages that they can hear. The second thing we want to touch base on, though, is that word unwholesome. Unwholesome, by definition, means detrimental to physical, mental, or moral well-being. That's pretty harsh. It's not helpful. It's not healthy. It means saying something to somebody else without considering their needs. Usually in my office, though, this is unintentional. I don't get a lot of people in my office that are intentionally trying to be unkind. This is just an awareness thing that maybe the words coming out of your temperament, even unintentional, are not landing correctly to the person that you're talking to. So you'll hear things like, I didn't mean it that way. You're taking it wrong. And what I'm trying to get you to understand is we can eliminate that gray area and that misunderstanding, because we are to build them up according to their needs, not our needs. That's where that selfishness comes in. So how do we know when the words that we're saying are unwholesome to another person? Well, again, their temperament tells us. It's anything that works against the innate needs of each temperament is unhelpful or unwholesome. So this is so important. Knowing your temperament is very important. If you know your temperament, and here's the key, and that of your fill in the blank, your spouse, your friend, your child, your coworker, it's going to change every single conversation. Every single conversation. But how? That's what everybody asks me is how do I even do that, right? Well, practice. You're learning another language. If you were learning to become fluent in French, you would have to practice French. So again, in the book, I specifically wrote things that will help you do this. For yourself, there's a whole list in there once you identify your dominant for strength training. A whole list of things to keep you in your strengths. But then for others, I've also put in there an exhaustive list of what's called build up and tear downs. So if you're speaking to a green, I give you a whole list of things that would build them up and a whole list of things that would tear them down. So I would ask you to look at those and to practice those so that we can speak more kindly to the other temperaments. Another key thing in communication, though, is listening. We cannot miss listening. We have to listen to understand. That's when you're going to be able to speak the other languages. Most people sitting in this room listen to respond. And we want to, again, pause for a minute and listen to understand. Listen to the words that the other temperament is using to identify them. Well, people will go, well, how can I do that at work? And how can I do that to a stranger? Well, again, one of my favorite stories to tell happened in the fall of last year on a rainy night when I went grocery shopping. And I'm in the grocery store. And again, I'm blue. So my definition of space is that I have this little circle around me. And I would rather you not in it unless I invite you in it, right? So I'm that person at the grocery store that has the buggy, and I would rather your buggy not be touching my buggy. And when I'm in the checkout, I'm the one using the little stick 7 inches back past my food because I don't want your food touching my food, right? So I'm in the checkout. I have a responsibility right there as a human being to another human being to say to the checkout girl, how are you? I mean, I could be really and just blow through, but how are you doing? Are you having a good day? This is this exact response. Am I having a good day? It is so good. I am going to be off in like 4 minutes. I got the early shift. I switched with Judy because I was going to work late, but now she's going to work late for me because I'm going to a party in Athens. My sorority sisters are going to be there. I haven't seen them in 2 years. It's going to be so exciting. We're spending the night. We got this hotel room. We're both good. We're going to switch. We're going to have like 8 girls in each room, and but it's covered. And then we're going to go to this party, this band that we saw there when we were in school, but it's going to be just so much fun. People. What is she? Stranger. I have that is my moment of pause right there. Okay? I could go deep blue on this girl because I have a daughter at UGA, and it could look like, do you know it's raining? Do you know how dangerous 129 is in the rain? You know how many accidents have been on that road? You don't look old enough. Do you have a fake ID? Are you using a fake? Are there going to be boys near that hotel room? Anywhere like near the vicinity of that hotel room? Does your mom know? Does she have an emergency number? I mean, I really would just want to I would feel better if she had an emergency number. Right? That's me in my flesh. If I'm not saying it, I'm thinking it, right? But I have a choice at that moment to love this girl better. So I said to her, for you, that sounds fantastic. You are going to have so much fun. How great is it that you've built those relationships that are testing time? That is so great that you're going to be able to go and spend time together with them. Now, I'm not changing who I am in my authenticity. I'm just choosing words that are going to love her better. But you know, when I pushed that card out, I turned and said, be careful. Right? Exclamation point, right? Because now she's not going to dive to the ground when I come in the next time to shop, right?
I love that story that Kathleen tells because it's a perfect example of how you can tell someone's temperament right away. And it reminded me, just the other day I was walking in my neighborhood and there was a woman that was fully masked and she had her dog and I had my dog and we were walking and my dog has one of those retractable leashes and it was a little bit, I didn't have it tight and it ran up to her and the way she responded and reacted and kind of quickly hurried off. It made me think, gosh, I entered her space and probably blue because her space was maybe violated and with the virus and feeling safe. And so I had so much grace. Instead of thinking, gosh, she's a little bit much, I just felt bad and thought, oh, I should keep my dog on a tighter leash. So I want you guys, now that you know a little bit more about the temperaments, I want you to think back to a scenario or a situation that maybe you ran across and see if you can talk as a family and think what that temperament may have been. And if you knew that ahead of time, would it have made you look at the situation a little bit differently? So take this time and have that discussion.
So it's all about accepting our temperaments, accepting the temperaments of the people around you, being aware of what that looks like, applying it, and through that application, becoming authentic. And when you get to that authentic part, all I hear is freedom and liberating. It's beneficial to you and to every person that's around you. So what I hope you take from our time together is that you have the opportunity each and every time to speak life-giving words to anybody that's around you. Family, friends, check out people at the grocery store. But in order for you to do that, you have to be aware of your temperament and the language that you naturally speak, as well as the temperaments and the needs of the people that you're communicating with. My goal would be that you're just not talking to each other. And not even just communicating, but that every word that comes out of your mouth be a gift to the person that you're speaking to. So our collective goal, I hope, is kind words, first to yourself and then to others.
Gosh, every time I hear this information, I learn something new. And I am so glad that you guys joined us and had the opportunity to learn about temperaments, and hopefully it's going to give you a little bit more grace and patience for those that are under your roof and in your household during this quarantine time. Remember, no temperament is better than any other. We all have strengths and we all have weaknesses. Consider these last 2 sessions like a crash course in temperaments. Hopefully they'll help you avoid having a conversation that you would later regret. Before I leave you, I want to give you 2 things. 1, if you want a quick guide to know what to say and what not to say, text colors to 313131. Number 2, make sure to tune in to our final session because Kathleen is going to join us via video chat and answer our questions and give us some final tips on how to be successful with our family during this quarantine time. Look forward to seeing you then.